Hello, I'm Elizabeth, and this is your planning mentor. Today we're going to create a self-care program specifically designed for you. Each of us are individuals, and just like we all have our different likes and dislikes, we also have different things that fill us up and different things that drain us. Today we're going to work through those lists and develop a program that's just for us. I'll be using my book, Planning for Self-Care, but you can easily use a paper or pencil and just follow along. So before we start, I want to remind you that self-care is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you have the dream life that you want. It doesn't matter if you are your ideal weight, or if you're overweight or you're underweight. It doesn't matter if you're out of shape or in shape. The best shape of your life, you still can be not taking care of yourself effectively. Just to remind everybody, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional. This is just my experience, my own journey with self-care and how it changed my life. Please remember to search out your own medical and psychological practitioners for your own medical and psychological care. So what is self-care? Self-care, simply put, is the care of yourself. It's not a luxury. It's not something that you do when you get the time, when you are better at something. It's not a reward. Many times we tend to care for everyone else. We have everybody else on our list. We cook our family or our friends the nutritious food. We make time to listen to their needs, and we forget about ourselves, or we just let ourselves fall off our list in order to care for everyone else. And I just want to say that I believe we need to take care of ourselves in order to more fully take care of those that we love and to do the job that we have been put on this earth to do. There are three aspects of self-care. You have a mind, you have a body, and you have a spirit. And within that mind is your intellect and your emotion. So often when we hear about self-care, we think about the physical aspect. We think, oh, I need to work out. Oh, I need to diet. Oh, I need to lose weight. Or we think about the beauty aspect. Oh, I need a manicure, or I need a pedicure, or I need a bubble bath. Well, if those things don't fill you up, they're not going to meet your self-care needs. Have you ever been to a restaurant and the table's wobbly? You have these three legs, and one of them is shorter than the other. And it affects your whole dinner. It affects everything. It's very much the same with our own person. If you are out of balance in one of these areas, your mind, your body, or your spirit, you're not at your full capacity. It affects all of those around you. It affects your own life. So a good self-care program looks at the whole person. How are you functioning in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit? If one of these three areas is out of balance, our whole person is out of balance. So I said it a little bit in the beginning of this video, but your self-care is unique to you. You have your own likes, your own needs, your own desires, your own body type. Some of us run hot, some of us run cold. Some of us need a lot of sleep, some of us don't need as much. We have different food preferences. We live in different parts of the world. We have different favorite colors. Some of us are tall, some of us are short. Some of us are at our ideal weight, some of us aren't. Some of us once were at our ideal weight and we'd like to maybe return to that. This isn't a weight loss program. This is about taking care of yourself, no matter what size or shape you're in. You deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to be on your list. Some of us might be battling chronic disease. I, for one, battle migraines. I have some back issues, and that affects the type of self-care that I am able to do and my self-care requirements. Some of us have children, some of us don't, some of us are empty nesters. So with all of these differences, it would make sense that what fills me up doesn't fill you up, and what fills you up doesn't fill me up. Yet we often try to apply someone else's self-care needs and ideas onto our own life and then wonder why we aren't filled up. I live in a 100-plus-year-old house. It has its original clawfoot tub, and I don't like bubble baths. My husband, however, loves a good bath. He takes baths several times a week, filled up to the very top. Has that little plug or overflow area filled up so he can have as much hot water in that tub that he can. And he loves to spend time in there, and that fills him up. To me, it would drain me. If I had to take a bath for self-care, that would drain me. If I had to take a bath because that's how I was getting clean, that's another story. But I'm just, for this purpose, it's purely to talk about filling yourself up. So we're going to go through the things that fill you up. We're going to list them out, and you might be surprised at what you find out. So we're going to evaluate our spiritual health, our physical health, our intellectual health, and our mental, emotional health. Some questions to ask yourself when evaluating your spiritual health. How is your relationship with God? How is your prayer life? Are there any spiritual things that you are avoiding? Just write them down. There's no judgment. We're just writing them down. Next, we're going to evaluate our physical health. If you're a woman, where are you in your cycle? When I was still having a cycle, I knew that I needed extra self-care during certain times of the month. There's nothing wrong with that. It's important to know that so that you can plan for that. How are you eating? How are you moving? Our body was made for movement. And again, there's no judgment in this. There's no you should be doing, should. This is just evaluating. We're just writing things down. We're just listening right now. Is your body trying to tell you anything? Do you have pain in places? How are you sleeping? Are you abusing substances? How are things at home, at work, and with your family and friends? Now let's take some time to evaluate your intellectual health. How much TV, Netflix, Amazon Prime, any of those streaming channels are you watching? Do you have a lot of brain rot going on? How many electronic games are you playing? Again, no judgment. I know when I am watching too much Netflix. I know when I am using it to avoid something. And so that's just what we're evaluating. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe that's not a thing for you. How much time are you spending on social media? Again, no judgment, just is it a good amount of time? How much time are you spending on your phone? When was the last mentally stimulating thing you read? And when my kids were growing up and we would go to the library, we had requirements. They couldn't just only get out fluff books. I describe your intellectual health as needing food in the same way that your body does. You need good meat and protein, you need vegetables, and then occasionally you have fluff. You can have some cotton candy, you have a really good dessert. You have a good, balanced life. And I see intellectual health the same way. Just like I would not eat only cotton candy all of the time, I need to feed my intellect, my brain, with stimulating things that are helping me learn and grow my brain capacity. When was the last educational thing that you did? Are you regularly learning new things? Maybe this is with your job, maybe this is with a hobby that you like. When was the last museum you visited? It could even be online. The last concert you attended, the last class that you took. Those type of intellectual things. Have you thought about your intellectual health lately? A lot of times that one gets left out. Now let's evaluate your mental and emotional health. How are your relationships? Do you have unresolved relationship issues? Do you have unresolved conflict? Is there something that you might need to talk to a professional or to a close friend about? Please reach out and get that help. What's your stress level right now? That's going to affect how much self-care you need. How are things with work, with your homeschool, with your occupation, with your volunteer position? Are you doing things for others that they are capable of doing for themselves? Now I just want you to think about some self-care ideas that fill you up. There are some different spiritual self-care ideas, physical self-care ideas, emotional, intellectual self-care ideas. And in my book, I have these listed out for you, just ideas, but you can go on Google and Google some ideas, or maybe you know some good ideas. Let's make a list of what fills you up spiritually. So I know for me, spiritually, going to church fills me up, but it also drains me because I'm an introvert and there are people there. And I love my church. But I know this about myself. And again, this isn't about guilt and should, and I should do this and I should do that. This is about being honest with yourself. So what really fills you up spiritually? So for me, spiritually, being outside fills me up spiritually. Praise and worship fills me up spiritually. Classical music fills me up spiritually. Beauty, and when I say beauty, I mean beauty in nature. A good photograph of a flower fills me up. I can just get lost in how beautiful God has created this world for us and the beauty that is all around us. Those things fill me up spiritually. Now, that might not fill you up spiritually. You might hate being outside. Here are some spiritual self-care ideas. Going for a walk, memorizing scripture copy, attending a church service, communion, Bible study, prayer, breath prayer, forgive yourself, forgive others, gratitude, meditate, journal, praise and worship, being in solitude, study who I am in Christ, spiritual rituals, spiritual disciplines, giving money to those in need, giving your time to a need, acts of service, 12-step program, the serenity prayer, asking for help can be spiritual self-care, and using your gifts. And those are just a few. Those are not exhaustive. Next, let's talk about what fills you up physically. List some things that fill you up physically. No need to edit, just write. Remember, don't try to make someone else's shoulds or need to show up in your list. So some physical self-care would be to go for a walk or a hike, eat food that nourishes your body, exercise, stretch, garden, bird watch, conserve your energy, baths or showers, dry brushing, get tested for food sensitivities, massage, acupuncture, hugs, physical intimacy, naps, a tea ritual, getting a mani or pedi. I know I said it doesn't fill me up, but if it fills you up, put that on your list. Getting a new hairstyle, regular doctor checkups, regular dental checkups, teeth cleaning and whitening, spending time outside, taking vitamins and probiotics, travel, following a bedtime routine, and getting enough sleep. Next, we're going to figure out what fills you up intellectually. And some intellectual self-care ideas would be conferences or lectures, online or in person, continuing education classes, learning a new language with an app, reading literature, reading nonfiction books, reading a book slightly above your level. I don't know if you've ever tried that, but Every now and then I'll pick a book that's really, really hard. Reading a subject or genre that's outside your usual choices. Chess, puzzles, games, memorizing. That's something I think that as a society we kind of have forgotten how to do since everything's on our phone. But I try to memorize scripture still, or memorize a poem. Listening to podcasts, long format podcasts or videos. A lot of times we get into the habit of watching shorts, which are good and have their place. Learning something new. Social media detox is a really good intellectual self-care thing. Just turning off all the gadgets for a little bit. Working towards a goal. I'm really big about setting goals and doing it the right way. Having grace for myself. Joining a club. I have a planner club that I started and we still meet once a month in person. Keeping a budget. Saving. Investing. Those are all really good intellectual self-care items. Going to a museum, a zoo, or an aquarium. Cooking a new recipe can be intellectual self-care. Taking a trip to somewhere new. Creating something. Starting a hobby. Getting a good night's sleep is really good intellectual self-care. And build something. Let's make a list of all the things that fill you up intellectually. They don't have to be things that I just listed. They can be things that you know are going to fill you up. And our last step here in this what fills you up is what fills you up emotionally. So a few items could be positive self-talk, maintaining rhythms and routines, scripture copy, home environment. How does it sound, smell, feel? Look, your work environment. How does it sound, smell, look, and feel? Decluttering your home or work environment can be very good emotional health self-care. Spending time outside, gardening, prayer, gratefulness, diffusing and using essential oils that can help my emotional self-care. Conserving your energy. I think that that is something that as I get older and older, I am much more interested in conserving my energy and using it to the best that I can instead of just depleting myself completely. Forgiveness for yourself and for others. Many times we have things that we can't forgive our own selves for. We're so hard on ourselves. Keeping appointments with ourselves, journaling, honoring our introvert or extrovert needs, nurturing relationships, limiting time with people's activities, thoughts, etc. that drain us. Sometimes we feel guilty about that, and sometimes it's the healthiest thing we can do is to limit that time so that we can be the best that we can be, so that then we can give sometimes to those draining relationships. Saying no, saying yes to your own needs, boundaries, again, another digital detox, seeing a counselor or therapist, having a good cry, asking for help. A 12-step program can also be a really good emotional self-care item. So let's go ahead and make a list of some things that fill you up emotionally. And this can have a lot of things on it. It can have a few things on it, and there's no need to edit it. Just write your list and remember, try not to have someone else's shoulds and musts and need to show up on your list. What are the things that fill you up? I love the word choices. I didn't realize how many choices that I actually had in my life. And I learned this concept maybe 7 years ago. And then I turned it into a list for planning. And so my choices program is C, consider what you want. H, hone that list. O, organize your plan. I, identify where it will go on the schedule. C, check in twice a day. E, enjoy a weekly planning date. And S, survey your progress. So now we're going to consider what you want. So you had your list and you wrote down all of the things that fill you up. I want you to look back over those worksheets called What Fills You Up. And I want you to figure out how often you need to do those things or would like to do those things that fill you up. So write a Y for yearly, M for monthly, W for weekly, or D for daily next to each item. And you could also color code if that would be easier. So let's go through and do that. Now I want you to take your piece of paper or in your book, things that I want to do yearly for self-care, and I want you to go through and write all of those things that you wrote a Y next to and put those on your list. I also want you to put in big events, maybe the start and end of the school year, holiday breaks, vacations, conferences, family visits, and put all of those on that list. Now I want you to make a list. This is quarterly, and I want you to put in quarterly and seasonal events. Maybe you want to take a trip every quarter. Maybe you have a financial goal that every quarter you'd like to save a certain amount of money. Let's go through and do that for our monthly items that we marked. All the monthly things that we want to do for self-care. Put that on a list marked monthly. We're also going to do that for our weekly list. So anything that we wrote weekly, write that on a list. And then also for daily. And you can just stop the video while you organize your lists. So we've listed out all the things that fill us up. We've decided what things that you want to do yearly, monthly, weekly, quarterly, daily. Now is the time to hone down that list. First, there are a few questions that we need to answer that will help you decide what needs to go and what needs to stay on your list for right now. So you have things that filled you up, but this might not be the time that you are going to do them. It might fill you up to take a vacation to Hawaii, but maybe your sister is about to get married and the timing won't work right now. That's okay. You are making a unique plan that's for you right now. So here are some things to consider. 1, your seasons. What season of the year is it? Seasons of life. Are you pregnant, breastfeeding, menopause, widow, adult children, number of kids at home, etc. All of that is important to consider in this season right now. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Is your energy high, medium, or low? Are you a night owl or an early bird? Do you need a little or a lot of sleep? Are you dealing with disease or illness or conditions, or maybe a season of grief? Those can all affect how much self-care you need and the capacity that you have for that self-care. For instance, right now, as I'm recording this, it's January. I always look at January and February as a season of rest. And so a lot of my self-care items that I will put on my list will be things that are restful, that will nourish my body in a restful way. I personally could not train right now for a 5K. Maybe you can, and that would be great. Look at your season right now and decide what types of things you could do right now and that would also fill you up. Another good example would be gardening fills me up, but I live in Ohio and the ground is frozen, so I'm not going to be out there digging in the dirt as much as I would like. However, I can work on my houseplants inside, and that can fill me up in that same manner. So here's our hone the list action step. We're going to go back through your pages, your yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, and you're going to put a check mark next to the items that you want to keep on your plan for this time in your life. Please don't feel overwhelmed. Just pick one new thing off the list, and if that is all that seems possible right now. Remember that you have choices. You get to decide how many items you are going to take action on. This plan is about you, and it should be as unique as you are. After we've honed down our list, we're going to organize our plan. A few ideas to help you plan, write, and organize your plan are: do you want to add these items in to routines that you already have, or do you want to make a new appointment for these items? It's often easier to add a new activity to a routine you already do, such as brushing your teeth or flossing or making your coffee. This is also called routine stacking or habit stacking. So are there places in your daily routine that you could add in some of these self-care items? I also want to put in a quick word about big ideas. Many times we have these ideas that we want to do. We might write them out, we might list them as a goal, and yet they never happen. There's a really big reason why we never get around to it, and that is our brains like to thwart us. Our brain's job is to keep us safe, and our brains like simple. Simple is safe, and simple takes up less energy. Using a gift card can be a perfect example. Someone's given you a gift card for a massage, but every time you look at that gift card, it feels complicated. Where is the massage place? What is the phone number? When can I go? Will I need a babysitter? So when you have a big task, you need to break it down into bite-sized tasks. Your brain sees those bite-sized tasks as simple and doable, and it doesn't get scared. So our next step is chunking up our big ideas. So let's use the gift certificate for a massage as an example. Number one, you might need to find the gift certificate. Number two, call the massage place. Number three, schedule the appointment. Number four, schedule the sitter. Number five, put the date in your planner. Now, you might want to put the date in your planner and then schedule the sitter. That's completely up to you. But when your brain sees those simpler tasks written down individually in your planner, it will be happier to accomplish those things. So we're going to use our planner for self-care. And the planner is one of the best tools to do that. It doesn't matter if it's a calendar on your phone, if it's a physical paper planner, or it's the calendar hanging on the wall. A planner is your friend. A planner helps with decision fatigue. Once you've thought about it and put it on your planner, the decision has been made. You don't have to keep spending time and energy thinking about it and trying to decide what to do. This frees up your brain space. Albert Einstein said, "Paper is to write things down that we need to remember. Our brains are used to think." Writing things in a planner can also help with procrastination. It shows you what and when projects or self-care needs to happen. What gets written down gets done. Next, we're going to identify where it goes on your schedule. I've personally taken many classes online and in person, and this step rarely happens during the class. Please don't skip this step. It's a secret to success. So we need to look at our schedule. Maybe there are things on your schedule that you need to say no to. You might need to cancel, or you need to reevaluate and decide if they really need to stay on your schedule. What could you say no to make more time for self-care? Maybe it's that TV show. Maybe it's mindlessly scrolling through social media. Is there something that could be outsourced? For instance, right now you do have the time to go grocery shopping, but you don't have time for an exercise class. Maybe you could schedule an exercise class, and before that, schedule a grocery pickup. So you do your exercise class, and you go and you pick up your groceries. Just little tweaks like that in your schedule can sometimes make it possible to fit in more self-care. Start out small. Find one thing that you could add to your planner for self-care. It could be daily, it could be monthly. You can anchor it to something that you're already doing. For instance, you already get the mail. Maybe you could add a daily walk to that time. Go for your walk, and when you get back, get your mail. Take the items from all of your lists on your year, month, week, daily, and add them to your actual planner, phone, or calendar. Now the next thing I want you to do is I want you to check in twice a day. This is also very important. I have an alarm on my phone, and even if it goes off and I don't do anything about it, it's still programming my mind that I want to check my planner. Many of us buy planners, we fill them up, and they sit on our desk. We never check in, we never check them. And the way to make your planner work is to check and see what you've written down. Get in the habit of checking your phone or your planner at least twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. It'll help you remember what you need to do the next day. And then maybe you still have time to wash that load of laundry for the clothes that you needed for that presentation the next day, or your child's soccer practice or whatever. My last step is enjoy a weekly planner date. You want to evaluate your plan often, and this is why I have a weekly planner date. It's very casual. I just sit down with my planner. It allows you to see what is working and what isn't. There is no shame or condemnation in evaluating your plan. Do not talk badly to yourself or beat yourself up because you didn't do everything perfectly. Real discipline is not giving up. Sometimes you need a new plan. We've already gone through the steps to create the plan. You just need to tweak it. For instance, maybe you put on your list that you wanted to eat more vegetables. So you purchased the vegetables, but they stayed in your refrigerator and they rotted, and you were disappointed yet again. So maybe all you need to do is add a few more steps. You bought the vegetables. Now add a step where you prep the vegetables and put them on the top shelf so that you can see them. They're all chopped up and ready to go. And maybe that's what you need to have more success. Sometimes it's just a step that we haven't created. We haven't made our steps small enough so that we can actually accomplish what it is that we want to do. Maybe you could put in your planner, eat vegetables, and I know that might seem silly, but maybe you have a tracker that you could put that in. Or maybe you could decide, I'm going to pack vegetables in my lunch every day, so that's when I'm going to eat my vegetables. Don't keep trying to do the same thing over and over again if it isn't working. My husband worked second shift for years, and I would stay up late so that I could see him. What this meant was that I couldn't get up early. I wasn't going to be an early riser because I had stayed up late. Did it make me an undisciplined person because I wasn't getting up at the crack of dawn? No, it just made me a person who exercised her choices. So I hope that this video has helped you. I hope that you've been able to create your self-care program. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll make sure that I get back with you. Please remember that planning, creating routines, and living those routines are skills just like riding your bike or learning how to cook. It takes practice. If you make a mistake or have a bad day, just jump right back in where you left off and keep trying. You can do it. Remember, it's progress, not perfection. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate any time that you spend with me. Don't forget to put yourself on your list. Put yourself in your planner. I hope you nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit this week. You are worth it. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.